into the room. Come on into the room. Be coachable, teachable, trainable. Post your city and state where you are catching this information from so that I can see where our value is actually influencing and impacting in these internet streets. My name is Brandmaster Martina Britt Yelverton, and today we're actually going to be discussing your brand story and how it will build more trust than your business name ever will. People don't follow business names, they follow other people. So when you share your story, you give them a reason to believe in your brand. Right? If you think your business name is the brand, think again. I say this all the time. You are the brand. Your audience doesn't connect to logos or taglines. Now, they may recognize it, but there's not a connection to it. They connect to your journey, your truth, your transformation. Okay? So today, I'm showing you how to pull key parts of your story and use that to build instant trust online. Whether you're just starting or whether you're rebranding, enhancing, revamping, whatever you want to call it, right? This is how you can build credibility even if no one knows your name yet. The key point is you must discuss how your story impacts them. You have to believe that your story is more powerful than your title, than your logo, than your slogan or your tagline. People will relate to why you do what you do more than what it is that you do. Now, they'll want to know what it is that you do because they are always tuned into WIIFM, what's in it for me. But sharing your story makes you more memorable, relatable, and credible, right? People believe in stories. They want to know you, your story. They want to like you and your story. And this will build your authority and your credibility. But most important, it will build your trust. You don't need a perfect story, by the way. You need a purposeful one. The right story builds trust and attracts aligned, qualified leads to you, right? So that you can guide them. So if you do not know or trust or understand your story today, then today is the day that you need to lean in and listen closely. Today, we are going to deep dive into how to build trust before you sell. Okay, that's what week 2 is all about. So I'll begin by asking you this. Do you honestly believe that your audience cares about your business name or more about the why behind you? Because the truth is, people aren't following your business, they're following you. And today, I'm hoping that you will be open to receiving what I'm going to share and show you. And that's how to use your brand story as your trust building superpower. So, I want to grab something here and I want to read to you a small bit of information about my specific superpower, as we call it. Okay. Now, I could give you all the stats that are in this featured article, but what I really want you to lean in and hear is this specific part of my story and part 1 and point 1 of the story over the slogan. God has purposed us all. However, when misunderstood, I found myself unable to maintain. I became overwhelmed, out of alignment, divorced again while facing eviction and back in the welfare system. My grind, my dream, my desire to educate and help other people easily outpaced those challenges. And even during a pandemic, I've been able to understand the power of my purpose truly. I realized the value of legacy, and being raised by grandparents who were entrepreneurs has been my pathway to bounce back and level up. I help startup and struggling entrepreneurs visualize, organize, and monetize their intellectual property. We are born sole proprietors, and I educate on the undervalued presence of parenting in the home as a business and gateway to financial freedom. That literally is my superpower. And that is from an article from Tap In Magazine. And featured in that article was a bit of transparency about overcoming domestic violence, about being placed inside of the welfare system again, and facing eviction. And it happened during the pandemic. I literally had myself and my two teenagers in my grown son's living room for 2 years, not just because of the pandemic, but because of, again, becoming overwhelmed and not really understanding the value behind and the delivery behind my superpower and my story. So, story over slogan. Nobody ever said, you know what, I bought this because their business name was so inspiring. No one ever said that. They buy because your story made them feel seen, heard, hopeful, and valued. Okay? Your audience want to know what led you to do this work, not just about what you're offering. I need for you guys to understand your mindset could be what's holding you back. The fact that you have not grown into and become the individual that can continue to consistently overcome a situation could be part of what's holding you back. But when you overcome and overcome and overcome and overcome and continue to move forward, that becomes a part of your consistent nature. And the individuals who are following that story will stick and stay with you along the journey. Why? Because they are seen, heard, hopeful, and valued along your journey. If you're not taking the opportunity to see those who are on the journey with you, Tawana, Karesha, Kenya, Stephanie, I could go on for days. Regina, Vanessa, I could go on for days. You guys have been along this journey. Cheryl, uh, another Vanessa, you guys have been along this journey. Eve, Anita, Chris, Kurt, you guys have been along this journey with me for years, and I value that. And I'm pretty sure I've left some names out, and I do apologize. Charge it to my ability to do this from the dome, off the dome, versus having that written down. But I know that you guys have been along this journey for long enough, and I'm grateful for you. You guys know the heart of why I do this, of why I invest so heavily in youth lifestyle training. And the fact that my business name, Family First, came from a time when it was about me putting family first and having to make my business take a back seat to my kids' schedule, getting them through elementary, middle, high school, getting them into the world that they're into now, and then having to do it all again with a second set of teens, getting them through elementary, middle, high school. And we've just completed that journey just 3 short months ago. Okay, you guys have been along for the entire journey. And we've gone through our ups and we've gone through our downs, and we're back up again. My audience wants to know what led me to do this work. I don't have to tell those people who have been along for the journey. So if you've been being consistently open and transparent and giving with your audience all of this time, they know the work. They buy because they understand the mission, the vision, and the goal. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And point two, what to share in your story. You always want to share the struggle. Where were you before your breakthrough? They need to know where the struggle came from. What was the struggle? What was the situation surrounding that particular period in time in your life? Why they can relate to that, they can understand that. So if you just come in from the top and say, hey, we're amazing, we did this awesome thing, but they don't know from which that amazingness came from, you're going to lose them. All right? So after the struggle in number one, number two is the spark. What moment made you shift? What was the pivot? You may have several times that you may have had a pivot too. Okay? What was it that sparked the change, the shift? What did it? What bell went off? What light bulb came off? What whistle blew? They'll need to know that. Then number three, the strategy. What did you do next? Jot that down. The struggle, the spark, the strategy. What did you do next? So after the light bulb came on, after the aha moment happened, after you woke up and you were still alive, what did you do next? And the support. Who do you help now because of what you overcame? And why do you help them now? The struggle, the spark, the strategy, the support, or the solution. What is the outcome of what you went through, and how do you use that to serve you now? How do you use that to serve someone else now? Why do you use that to serve someone else? These are the four, part A, part B, depending on how your number four is, if it's the support or the solution, how you choose to structure that story. All right, and in point three, how to use your story on repeat. I'm telling you guys, don't think everybody saw it the first time. Sometimes you have to go live. Sometimes you have to put it in a post. Sometimes you have to put it on a carousel. Sometimes you have to put it in a reel, in a short, in a story. Sometimes you have to use email. Sometimes you have to use SMS. Sometimes you have to use just simple captions. Tell the same story in multiple ways and tell it multiple times. Everybody ain't see it the first time. Not everybody saw the post. Not everybody even knew to scroll left or right to see the rest of the carousel. Everybody didn't catch the full magnitude of the story in the 30 seconds, right? When you don't repurpose your content and send it out on different platforms, then you can't touch different people. Different people are on different platforms. So tell the story, tell it on repeat, tell it in different formats in different ways. And if you're not going to do it on social media, then do it on your website. Use it in your About Me section. Pin it in a video in the About the Author. Meet the founder. Check out your girl, whatever you want to call it. But make sure you're utilizing it in multiple platforms. Put it in a blog. Put it in a newsletter. Like I said, even put it in an SMS post. Okay? Keep refining it, refine it, keep reinventing it. This is your anchor. Your story is your anchor. It will draw the people who are needing to find a way to relate to you. Okay? Now, here's the caveat, the creme de la creme, as you hear me say. Point 4, tie it to what you offer. When you figure out how to take the time to transition from this is my story to this is why I help people like you, that is the bind, right? Example, this is why I created the Dollar Deals membership, because I was once stuck and struggling and confused too. And I was. I tell you guys, even on the website itself, let's see if I can get that onto the screen so I can show you where not only do I tell you, but then I make sure the website itself tells you so that you can understand how serious I am about I don't just what did I say? I don't just share the product. I'm a user myself. It says right here on the left side of the screen, I spent over 3 years working first as a startup and then an additional 7 as a struggling entrepreneur myself. I felt there had to be an easier way. I found it. It thrived, and it thrived so much so that I knew I needed to fill the gap and share it. Now, I am even more excited that I get to assist other stuck and struggling entrepreneurs and even tech-savvy seniors grasp the confusing area called personal branding by the horns and lead the charge to develop a simplified, profitable brand focused on your value. Now, I think I need to go up here and check this out because I don't know I think it repeated right here, but I will. But you guys are hearing what I'm saying. It's not just about telling the story once. You have to tell the story however many times and however many ways on however many platforms and make the transition. I don't just help startup and struggling entrepreneurs get your assets in order just for the fun of it. I help you because I knew that once I did it and I started to see the shift, the change, the mindset go to a mind shift, go to a mind solution, that I had to share that with others. So I knew that I needed a simplified, organized way to distribute my brand, to grow my brand, and now to scale my brand. And I know others need it too. Ask me how I know others need it. Are you asking? Because they ask me how to do it. So, what is the value that you have that someone is consistently asking you how you do what it is that you do, that you need to package, because you already have everything that you need. You're already the brand. You just may not be doing it right. So that is why we have the Dollar Deals membership, reterm the BrandYOU membership, so that you guys can see there is a simplified, organized way to get this thing done. Okay. When I take the confusion and the chaos that was present before the brand became what it is today, this is why I help people like you to get your assets in order so you can go from stuck and struggling to literally creating and attracting people to you that need what it is that you have to offer. And your value is your most valuable asset that you have, who you are, your ability to now show people how you've been able to go and get to where you are today is your most valuable asset. Now, let's get into some of y'all mindset and the objections and the reframing that we need to do. I don't have a dramatic story. Guess what? You don't need drama. You need direction. The most relatable stories are actually simple and real. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be you. You may be thinking, I'm also still figuring out my brand. Well, who isn't? That is the story. That is you figuring out your brand. People connect with your process more than your perfection. I say this all the time. And if you're thinking, well, hey, nobody really cares about me, they just want the results. They care who they get the results from. They care who they get the results from. Trust builds before transactions. Okay? So when they know you, like you, and they trust you enough to do business with you, they're going to care who they get the results from, not just the results. So let me ask you a question as we close. Have you ever shared your brand story publicly? Have you ever thought about what it is that you do, and have you structured it in a way that it delivers the impact and value that someone else can relate to? And if you haven't, what is holding you back? Is it that you don't understand the structure of it? Well, I've given you that in what we talked about today. You need to structure that based on the struggle, the spark, the strategy, and the solution or the support. I've given you the structure if that's what's holding you back. Why haven't you shared your story publicly? Is it still because you're going through or overcoming? I hate to tell you again, that is the process that people can relate to. Trust and believe, my brand is not finished. The reason that I am titled a brand master is because not only am I mastering my brand, but I'm able to teach people how to master theirs. This story is not finished. Your story is not finished. Our brand is still growing every single day, and so is yours. This process is what you wanted to see, and that's the reason that we are delivering this story, this brand, this business to you in this format every single Tuesday through Friday, and now following through the weekends inside of our BrandYOU community, so that you guys can come into a safe space to share your story, to get the structure and the formatting that you need inside of the membership so you can grow. It's a free membership. Come and network with us, okay? Your business name gets registered, but your brand story gets remembered, right? Lead with who you are and what you've overcome and why you show up, and the trust will follow. Okay, so if you want some help shaping your brand story into posts, into videos, captions, and things that convert, then what you'll want to do is grab your brand inventory worksheet, right, to identify the stories inside of your life, not just your business. And you're available to get that inside of our Brand You community. You can go over to Learn, Lead, and Level Up. And this will allow you to get access to the community, access to all of the Follow Through Friday worksheets, the Follow Through Friday videos that accompany the worksheets. This is where you will be able to get your strategies in a checklist, in a cheat sheet, so that you can begin to move the needle in your business. Please don't forget to join us every Tuesday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I look forward to seeing you guys after office hours today, so that you can ask your burning business questions inside of our free private Zoom room. You can go over to learnleadandlevelup.com. You can go ahead and register to get your free account. And when you come into our community, you can come into the events tab and you can click on the dates. When you click on the dates, it will allow you to check the link here to join us inside of the Zoom room. I appreciate your time on today. I greatly thank you guys for dialing in each and every Tuesday through Friday with us, for joining us on the follow-up Fridays over the weekend, for downloading your checklist and really getting involved in the development of your brand. I'll catch you guys on tomorrow. Hey y'all, hey, Brandmaster Martina with Yelverton here, updating you about our daily live training and follow-up live open office hours. Join me every Tuesday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for live actionable lessons on building your brand from scratch. We'll cover everything from tools, strategies, and systems like Canva, StreamYard, Go High Level, AI technology, and more, to include the exact steps to take you from confused to confident. And the best part is, after each live stream, you can hop on Zoom with us to ask your questions and get personalized answers. Don't miss out. Mark your calendar and subscribe now to this YouTube channel. Join our free community, and I'll say it louder for the people in the back. If you want to learn, lead, and level up your automation in your MLM company, or as an entrepreneur who could possibly be struggling in your business, we not only have the solution, we also have the experts. Yes, this is your sign to join us. Our entire team is live each weekday. So if you snooze, you will lose. I said what I said. You heard what you heard. Now do what you now know you need to do to get your assets in order.